I'm Will Hedrick.
And I'm Jordan Schaffer.
And this is Dog Ears and Timestamps, a Good Omens podcast.
The end is nigh. Yeah?
Is that something that they say?
No, but it is.
Or is it
because
like
it's they had those little little flashboards that come up. It's like 6 days till the end of the world.
Yeah, right.
Just because the Antichrist's 12th birthday.
Yeah.
But then it didn't end, It
didn't. Not immediately.
Spoiler alert, the first episode, the world doesn't end.
Right, yeah.
But, what'd you think?
I like it a lot so far.
Me too.
I wasn't 100% sure what to expect. I know that the book is just a comedy about the end of the world.
Oh, okay.
And that was, always its intention, and so that's why it is the way that it is. Mm-hmm. As a show as well, certainly with Neil Gaiman taking it on to write the screenplay, not just be like a consultant or anything like that.
Completely forgot that he was a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like initially why we chose it. Yeah, man, it was like I didn't really know what to expect like at all. I don't know much even as the stories of the Bible go, because like it seemed like it kind of had a few things loosely based on things from the Bible, like
yeah,
was
for
Adam
sure.
and Eve,
like in the Garden of Eden,
and
to my memory, it's actually Satan that tempts them, not whoever this demon that Crowley is.
Yeah.
And so
it is cool that he has the snake eyes still, though.
Right, yeah. He still has his, his demon eye. So, yeah, I mean, obviously they're going to take some things and make them a little bit different for the sake of making it, one, a comedy. Yeah. And then, two, it being a novel, and then now a show.
You're definitely going to have to read the novel, because it's really funny as a show already, Mm-hmm. And it's not overtly trying to be funny. Just like the way Crowley is.
David Tennant is spectacular all the time.
And that's the actor
I've never seen David Tennant in anything where he wasn't just effortlessly just engaging, and he's always funny too. Dude, he's a really good actor.
I don't know if I've seen him in anything. I probably have. I'm sure I have. But I'm not sure I have. But I feel like I've probably seen him in something. But just watching him from this, he was good, man. Just like all the subtle things he was doing, like because he was playing like a demon that was just kind of like wild and crazy almost, that was
right.
But almost like it made me kind of feel like a Charlie Sheen vibe to a demon, just like kind of a chill, like
yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
and
yeah, they're not like your archetypical angel and demon. Yeah, because they've been like. It's from what we can gather that's given to us, when they talk to their higher ups and stuff like that. They're both agents of their respective parties, right, for the earth, and their job is to, one, watch each other, and also just help out things on earth as they can do. And
can they affect things directly? Because it sounded like I already forgot the angel's name and we just went over it.
Aziraphale.
It sounds like he cannot influence
I think
actions directly, but he can influence like people.
He certainly can. He's got the ability to, right? But because he's such a goody two shoes, he's like, I can't do that. An angel would never do that.
That's funny though. He literally could do it.
Yeah. but both of them have been there on Earth for so long at this point, since the beginning, as we see, and they've been interacting with humanity and the planet and everything, that they've sort of grown to like it. And they're like, well, maybe I don't want this to end, because I've got a pretty sweet gig doing what I want to do right now.
No, that being kind of the main plot is like, we've got a sweet gig going, and I kind of don't want to ruin the playtime we have here on Earth. Like that being the plot is so funny, because it's like, let's keep this going.
Yeah. And, we don't want Armageddon to happen. No. Regardless of it being, the divine plan and everything.
Right? And speaking of that, that's so funny too, that like heaven, they're just like, oh, we commend your efforts to because like
climb every mountain, ford every stream.
They have this plan like to, the whole, I guess, I'm sure everyone watched it, but the rough outline is that the Antichrist is born and it's the end of days.
Right.
And then we have
that heralds the beginning of the end.
Right. And, it was just, but I thought was funny was just that like it is Armageddon. So like the angels up in heaven have already accepted that the world is gonna end and Armageddon's nigh, and yet Aziraphale's still trying to subtly influence the Antichrist through like being
he takes on the role of the gardener,
or whatever, that like, and he's giving him like advice to like respect the earth, and meanwhile, Mrs. Doubtfire version of Crowley is giving him devil advice to become like a good ruler of the, like a satanic ruler.
They think that they can cancel each other out and just make them just a normal kid.
Neutral.
And therefore not a problem.
Yeah, and it's just so funny that like up in heaven they're like, oh, we commend your efforts. Yeah, like you said, climb every mountain.
What the Almighty likes to say, climb every mountain.
We definitely, it's not going to work, but good on you for trying. Right, like that's the right thing to do.
Right. There's John Hamm as the Archangel Gabriel.
Oh, dude, and he is good too. He's just so patronizing.
Right, yeah.
He's so funny.
He does that role so well.
Yeah, they got a pretty all-star cast. Like, I don't know how expensive it necessarily was to get Nick Offerman to do a video of a video.
Yeah, you would think that he commands a decent salary after Parks and Rec, but that's now been over for 6-7 years.
I mean, he seems like the type that would just do it because he's cool.
Certainly if it's just like a small role like that. Like if we never see him again, which now there doesn't seem to be any reason to see him again.
Right.
Now that we know that one we knew immediately, but the kid that was supposed to be the Antichrist was supposed to be his kid.
Yeah, and he's the American ambassador to like Europe or something. I think we're in the UK.
Some country, yeah.
Yeah, we're somewhere in the UK, but he has an accent. But he's the American ambassador, so he like, I guess he
works directly with the president and stuff like that, and like
so he's supposed to influence.
Like whenever Crowley tells Aziraphale that's where the kid's going, Aziraphale is like, God, is the end of the times some sort of Hollywood production? It's just like so dramatic that of course he's going to be with like the American government and all that sort of stuff.
They had a really good like dynamic together too. Like even just the fact that like they met up and then they got drunk together. Like they both played drunk well in their character, like in character drunk. I thought they both did well. Like they were both silly, and then they're like, "Oh, I can't handle this. I'm gonna sober up." how dope would that be? Just like at the end of the night, you just buy one really nice bottle of whatever, and then you drink it and then refill it when you're done at the end of the night.
Right.
Oh man, that was a silly episode. Just like even when. Just because we're omnipotent, like we see where the Antichrist is.
We see everything that all concerned parties are doing, yeah.
And I mean, it didn't happen until the end, but like he was awarded the Hellhound, as his 12th birthday present, and they'd been
right, and that was going to be what marked it.
Yeah, they had been growing this badass demon Hellhound, in
it's
hell.
The biggest one they've got.
Yeah, the biggest one they've got. And then the dog, he's sniffing out, his new master, and he finds him. And of course, since the human error is the fate of what happened to this Antichrist and how they got the baby swap is just literally everybody was trying to do their best. And it just was a literal misunderstanding, and then the Antichrist is lost to this other family, like to this normal British family. And he's off. Of course he's the ringleader of some little gang of kids, which I'm excited to see because I love when they make kind of kid actors and like I don't know, I like dynamics of kids, like how they've done with Stranger Things.
Oh yeah.
And how Stephen King always makes their like a really important kid. Remember in what was the book we read? Jesus Christ. The book Salem's Lot. How there was a kid that was like really important,
God, yeah, what was his stupid name?
Yeah, he was kind of annoyingly smart.
He was too good.
He was awesome. Annoying at the time, but anyway, I'm excited to see because it'll be cool to see it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if the other kids stay in the situation, or if we just see them in passing once in a while, and then we just only deal with Adam.
Mm-hmm. And Adam right now is leading like a ragtag group of teens. They're not even.
It's just like his friends or whatever. They're like three friends that they just hang out in the woods.
Right, and they have like a little fort in the woods.
He comes up with the games or whatever.
Yeah, they said he was like
sort of like a natural born leader.
Exactly, which is of course
like Dory's the Antichrist.
And it was funny because like the Hellhound is the biggest demon hound. It looks like this. I'd say like a. It's like a Doberman. It's like some sort of weird dappled Doberman with like a distended jaw and all of its very demon like. And, what you may imagine a hellhound looks like, and then like he's getting close, and he's like, the hellhound hears his Adam talking about how he's going to get a dog for his birthday. That's what he wants, He's like, I know I'm going to get one for his birthday, and his friends are like, how do you even know? he's just like, I know. And they're like, what kind of dog are you going to get? And he's like, well, I don't want a big one. And the hellhound hears and he's like, huh? Wait, you don't want me to be big? And then he just explains like a dog that he wants. And the hellhound conforms and he just becomes this cute little dog. But of course it's the hellhound. So it's going to be obviously...
It's obvious that it's going to be just like a comedic device what dog does.
For sure, yeah, and named dog.
Because now he's got taken on the role of dog.
Yeah.
And he's this tiny little terrier thing.
Yeah, just a pretty normal
but still terrier, a hellhound, so it's going to be just funny to see what he can do and is trying to do as just a tiny dog. Yeah. When he's no longer the giant thing.
It'll be, I'm excited to see too, because I'm sure he's got some sort of magic. He obviously transformed into a smaller dog. I don't know if he can turn back into the big hellhound. Or
the way that they sort of described it, because Francis McDormand, the voice of God, comes in at that moment and talks about how this is the moment that he gets his name, the thing that gives him purpose and identity and blah, blah, blah. And he says, I'm just going to call it dog. And then that's when he shrinks into like the regular dog. So it seems that he was given that form just by his name.
Yeah. Okay.
So his name gave him that purpose of just being nothing, or just like a regular little dog,
Yeah, names have power, dude. It always comes to
the Antichrist had actually been bred to, into his, designed role, and the dog shows up, you probably would have been like, named it something, like Cerberus or something.
Yeah,
something
awesome,
a little more classically evil
than
dog, and it might have stayed like that size or gotten some other bigger, attribute or something like
heads.
that. Yeah, maybe so.
It was funny when the satanic nuns were all pitching names for the kids,
right.
And every time they're like Damien,
right? Yeah,
that's a little. Right. I don't think so.
I've been watching The Omen a little too much.
Yeah. Dude, when they pitched
like whenever they were going over the game plan, they had like little fucking figures that they were hanging up, and they were like, "We're gonna take the baby and switch it out with our Lord," and his little baby with horns on it. It was just funny. Everything about this show is really funny. I'm excited for it. Certainly on the heels of the disappointment of Game of Thrones, it'll be nice to just have something a little light.
Yeah, there's not much riding on the line, I think, with this one. It's, emotionally investing. I am excited to see where it goes. It's a fun story so far. I was engaged the whole time. It's hard not to laugh and then talk about it, though, if you're watching with somebody, and then miss what's happening.
Right, yeah.
So and then luckily I had a couple days to watch it, so I watched the beginning, fell asleep, and as I do.
Yeah.
And but like I watched it last night straight through, just from the beginning with Ace actually, and dude, it was good. There was even like symbolism like in the background, like when he was when Crowley was the nanny, and he was and he was like singing the song, like the lullaby to young
so Warlock.
God, Warlock. What a terrible name. When he was singing to Warlock before they knew he wasn't the actual Antichrist, but in the background, what do you call them the ornaments you hang above babies? I don't think that's what they're called, but
oh god,
the little dangly things.
I know
what
it's called, but I can't think of it right now.
Well, the dangly thing above the baby, the shadow looked like a hanging person, like a hanging skeleton. Yeah? It really did. It looked like a hanging.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, and I'm sure it was because I had watched it a couple times, and then I was
maybe so you were able to let your eyes wander a little bit more.
Yeah. And but I had seen that was still in the first half, whereas the second half I was glued to it, and I missed the whole part that you went over, the where the name actually names always seem to have power, man. It's always
it's a very common theme in most things. Period.
Dude, I honestly don't know where it's gonna go. Like they couldn't have. It seems like they couldn't have asked for a more normal upbringing for the Antichrist.
Right, because he ended up just living in just like a regular
they're
small
trying to raise
English
like a normal
family.
Kid.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Our special guest for the next episode just showed up.
Hi.
We're talking about Good Omens. Have you been watching Good Omens?
I have not.
Oh, okay.
I have nothing to say about it.
Well, then you can just be quiet.
Will do.
No, I think that, let me actually look at what does our recording look like right now? We've probably got about 20 minutes worth of content, so we've got more that we can do. Although I think the main thing about this episode is that it's just all set up, right? We get introduced to the characters. We get the premise of what's going to happen. We get the tone of the entire thing. And then, boom, now, the story kicks off because we know that we weren't following the Antichrist.
Yeah, I like that we just kind of got rid of all those characters, too. Like, it doesn't seem like anybody even cares about we have the American family.
Yeah, they're totally pointless
at
this
them
point.
Now.
Yeah.
The third baby, we just kind of threw him off to the wind. We don't even know what happened to
potentially
that baby.
They could come... Yeah, so that...
I mean, they made a joke about him selling cards or something. I don't remember. It was.
He gets God says that he wins a prize for his exotic fish collection or something weird like that, just something stupid.
And so I was just like, all right, well, that's the end of his story. But I can't wait to find out. Like I said earlier, like how Adam is going to come to like his own. Mm-hmm. Just it'll be exciting to see a child kind of.
I wonder how long it's going to take them to catch up to him, because they don't know.
They don't know where he is.
He is. And what are the consequences for having been following the wrong child this whole time?
Yeah, it doesn't...
And what happens to Crowley and...
And who's actually judging them? Like, is somebody watching them at all times? Because they seem to be reporting to the angels.
Yeah, they seem... Yeah,
like, it doesn't seem like anybody's
actually
watching.
They say so much as that they just report in, yeah. But yeah. I think that...
So who's going to know?
I guess that maybe there's probably, like, next to no punishment for Aziraphale, because it wasn't actually, like, his job. Yeah. To watch the Antichrist. It was his job to watch Crowley. And Crowley thought that this was the Antichrist.
Yeah, so that
Crowley is going to get in trouble as soon as Satan finds out. Or one of those other demons like Beelzebub that was talking to him. And who
is that who that was?
Whenever we first go to hell and he's walking through and there's that chick that walks in and she's covered in bugs, that's Beelzebub.
Oh, okay. Yeah, dude, I was so confused like with who they actually were.
The two randoms that are like they hand over the Antichrist to him.
The ones with like a frog.
They must have names, and maybe we'll find out at some point if they didn't like grunt it, very lowly, and we didn't hear it.
Crowley was
maybe
the only
nothing.
like seductive demon of all of them. Like all the rest.
They
of them
all
had,
look like
nasty. Yeah. Like they all look like sewer people. Literally like with animals on their body, like lizards and frogs, and it was gross. Yeah.
And potentially they can take, they have some, agency as to what they look like. But I think that generally speaking, the demon is going to be into whatever their role is and just personify that. Like Beelzebub is covered in bugs. Okay. Whoever those two demons are, they seem to really enjoy their demonness, because whenever they first meet up, they're like, this is what we did today that was evil.
Oh, yeah. And I love that it was...
So they want to look that part.
I love that they were all long cons, too. It was like, in 20 years, we'll have, the whole stock market will crash,
It's kind of like, who cares, because the whole point of tonight is that you're setting Armageddon into motion. Like, it doesn't matter, right? So, who knows?
Yeah, it's just
funny.
Yeah, dude, just like around every corner, they had like just a little like... They had a little joke for like every little bit, but it still kept a serious tone the whole time.
Right. I'm definitely excited for the rest of it, for the next 5 episodes.
What'd you think of Adam and Eve being black? That was cool.
Well, I think it makes sense contextually, considering that it's supposed to be in the Middle East.
Yeah, but I've never seen a black Adam and Eve.
It's never been depicted that way because, I thought that traditional Christian church is all white people.
I thought, like, honestly,
at least once art started being a part of it.
Yeah, well, I just was thinking, like, well, we all descended from like Egypt or whatever, right? Like, isn't there like a common human ancestor from over there somewhere?
I think one of the like presiding theories is that we all started in Africa.
Yeah, I was,
or at least just what they can figure.
For some reason in my head, I had it all wrapped around that like they implemented that as well as like creationism like into one storyline. But what you said makes more sense because it all happened in the Middle East.
Yeah.
That makes just more sense than my whole thing. Yeah. Like, well, look, they were making it scientifically and
they just took place in the Middle East, but white Christian artists that made all the art back in the day
that's what did it.
Made it after their own image because that's what artists do.
Yeah.
And then that just took root, and now the same people who are still in power are just like, no, Jesus was white. And he had blue eyes.
Dude, it was I liked that like Adam, like right off the bat when they got banished, was fighting this giant lion.
Yeah,
does that happen
in the background? That was really funny. That was hilarious.
Oh, I do hope they'll be all right. And he's like swinging his sword at a like literally like
lion in the middle of a desert.
Yeah, dude. And the Garden of Eden, is that where it is? In the middle of a desert?
Well, the thing is that we don't know, and no one ever knows.
Yeah. It was depicted just like
it's just like in like
an island in the middle of the desert. Like
there's accurate representation as anybody else could come up with.
Yeah.
Because there's never any like reveal as to where it is. I think that once Adam and Eve leave it, it becomes hidden or whatever. It's been a long time since I've gone through those stories, but I think it gets hidden, or God just outright gets rid of it or whatever because it's not needed anymore. At least for this era of humanity, it's not going to be needed.
Yeah.
And so, but they speculate, and it's something that they would talk about in church every now and then, is that where is it? Blah blah blah. Blah blah. And they think it's between. Maybe it's that's what Mesopotamia supposedly like a prime suspect for where Eden may have been, between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers over there in the Middle East, because it's like a belt of lush wealth earthwise.
That's cool. And they talked about all this in church?
Well, I mean, any given speaker at any given organization might have an opinion and decide what might be important to talk about that.
Is that where you learned it though?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I never went to church really. I was like an acolyte, funnily enough. Like I held the big book, but I never read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of.
We didn't have anything like that in Southern Baptist Church. We were pretty adamantly against roles like that.
Yeah. They did bribe me with candy though to memorize Bible verses.
Nice, there you go. They did that to us too. They called that.
No, that's what happened when I went to the Baptist church. They bribed me to.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you would show up to Awanas or whatever. Yeah.
That'll be. You think a lot more like biblical references will come up?
I think there will be fun references for the sake of just having like a cute little reference, like, oh, that's a funny, twist on this thing that, presumably, 80% of, the white Western world is familiar with.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's not going to lean on that in any way.
It is the end.
That's not the point. The point is that it's Armageddon, which is a theme that even if you weren't raised Christian, you have a familiarity with, and you've at least heard like stories, in regards to that.
That's not.
And how do we make this a comedy?
That's not what's the name of the book when everything ends? Like, isn't
Revelation?
Revelation. Yeah, it's not called Armageddon.
No.
Revelation.
Well, because Revelation is the telling of what's going to happen, through the eyes of whoever it was that has the vision. God gives them a vision of what's going to happen, and so then he retells that vision, and that's why it's called Revelation. He's revealing to the world what it is that's going to happen.
And that's way different than this, because this is
the actual events. This is actual Armageddon. So they call it Armageddon in the Bible.
Do they really?
Or they call it Armageddon in the English translation of different languages.
Yeah.
So.
Or the rapture.
Yes.
Oh, rapture.
Well, rapture is the event that will take all of the believing Christians away from Armageddon, and then everybody that's remaining deals with Armageddon.
It's like tempting. Well, they're tempting them away and then ending it all. Make them, cutting the door closed for heaven. Only the true...
The bad kids.
Yeah, the bad kids.
Yeah, the bad kids.
That's how you weed out the bad kids.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I saw this as the end, so I get it.
Yeah, that's a perfect starting point for understanding how the end of the world is told.
It feels in vain with this show, at least. Yeah, man, I don't know. I honestly don't have any idea where the show's gonna go.
Yeah, because I think that the whole thing is we're following Crowley and Aziraphale, and that's just their goal is to not let Armageddon happen,
right? Because
they, grown to love the earth and their gig in the earth, and they don't want that to change. Even Aziraphale, who's a pretty dedicated angel, is like, God, eternity. Just listening to the sound of music sounds awful. I would rather be able to eat sushi and do things.
No, that was like his main argument too. Like, do you really want to be stuck with the people that you have up there in heaven? Right. Like, you made. I
hear the Almighty loves the sound of music. Do you really want to listen to the sound of music for eternity?
Yeah. How did they make heaven sound so unappealing?
Well, the idea is, or at least what Crowley presents to Aziraphale is just now you have to deal with eternity.
Yeah.
Which is not what we've been dealing with down here. We've been dealing with the transitory nature of Earth and all that live on it. And we like that. And now that's going to end for you. Even though it's a positive thing that you believe in fundamentally, you don't want this. And he's like, oh, God, you're right, I don't. That sounds awful.
Yeah, they're like, it's almost like it's like they're given a taste of mortality in a way, you know?
Right.
Weird. I never thought of it like that until you started saying that. And
depending on how long, I don't know. I don't even want to get into that. Never mind.
Well, I mean, we have all 6 episodes out, but we're going to...
Yeah, we're going to just do it 1 episode a week. If it was like 12 episodes or 20 episodes, then maybe we would do 2 a week. Because I don't know that I want to do 20 episodes on the show. But 6 episodes, hour each. I think that's reasonable to do that. It's, more or less the same length of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Despite those episodes being of varying lengths.
Mm-hmm.
So be ready for next week. And obviously, if you can watch the show at your own pace. If you're over at home, if you want to watch all 6 episodes tonight, go ahead and do that.
Definitely do it if you want to watch it.
Didn't want to stop watching.
No, I was like, oh,
I should stop watching for the sake of this dumb show that we record, but...
Yeah, it's ironic we're serializing it ourselves, like forcing ourselves to watch it.
Right, I had assumed it was going to come out in a weekly format, but... as Amazon Prime, I should have known that it was just going to be dumped at one go.
Yeah, I forgot that was the thing. I don't know why. I should have remembered, because Netflix does it. A lot of shows do it now. They just drop the whole season and let everybody binge.
The majority of the shows that I watch are on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
But I don't watch... This is like literally... Aside from Game of Thrones... Game of Thrones was the first Western show that I had watched in since season 7. Mm-hmm. And then this is currently the only Western show that I'll be watching. It'll probably stick that way.
Yeah.
Everything else is on a weekly basis. But Game of Thrones is on a weekly basis. So even, getting back into a section of the world that has gotten used to everything being dumped at once and binge watching, it still was a serialized thing. Yeah. So even whenever I got back into the waters where it could be that way, it wasn't. So I'm so unused to things being just dumped in one go like that.
Well, this will keep the hype up too, for us at least.
Right, yeah.
It won't just be a one and done quick show that we forget about. We'll be talking about it for a month, at least a month and a half, so...
Right.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. So just watch next week's episode, just episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
And
and we'll see you there. We'll see y'all here in a couple of days with our first episode of Bring Me Back, the novel that we're starting as well, in conjunction with starting Good Omens. We will have to find another book that will only take us 3 episodes, so that it will end with Good Omens as well. We'll figure that out.
That'll be easy.
Yeah.
We could even do the Neil Gaiman book Caitlin recommended.
We could, maybe. We'll see.
We could, maybe.
We'll see how well she performs on this episode. Anyways, we'll see y'all on Wednesday, and then we'll see you Monday, and then Wednesday, and then Monday, and then Wednesday, and so on and so forth. I'm Will Hedrick.
I'm Jordan Chapper.
And this dog is some timestamps. Go Bruins!